everybody, and welcome to this episode of Political Progress, a series where we invite different municipal, provincial, and federal politicians to come answer our questions. Today's guest is Geneviève Lajoie, the mayor of Casselman. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing great, thank you. To start off today's interview, could you tell us what important developments have happened in Casselman throughout the last few months?
I think one of the most important developments is the connection with our community. So when I became mayor, one of the most important things for me was to engage with our community. I feel in politics, the concept of the people forming the decisions of policies has kind of switched, and it's kind of top down, where the politicians make the policies for the people. So I'm really working hard towards community engagement to try to elicit as much feedback and learning about the cultures and the needs of our people. So I formed a community engagement committee, which is basically an inspiration from when I was doing my door-to-doors. A lot of people said that one of the things that they wanted to change in Casselman was that there was nothing much to do in Casselman, that, you know, we'd have to go to Ottawa more frequently to have fun. So I created the community engagement committee so that if anybody has any idea, they come to this committee and we just do our best to make it happen. So we've already formed the committee, we have our board, and from that we've already created a horticulture club. So that club is looking at things like community gardens, rain barrel fundraisers, and just really trying to promote environmentalism in the community, because without a strong environment, we won't really have a world to live in. So, I feel that the biggest thing for me is I feel a strong connection with the community, and I feel there's been a lot of positive feedback. And I mean, there's nothing more that you could ask for as a mayor, right? To know that your people are happy.
Mm-hmm. For how long have you been the mayor of Casselman?
2 years now.
2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning on keep going? For how long are you thinking of being mayor?
I don't have a plan, honestly. I think I'm going to do everything that I can to meet the needs of the people, and then come election time, I will keep running for sure, and it'll be for the people to decide what they want ultimately. So if they vote somebody else in because they feel that that's more in line with their needs, then I completely support that. So I will always be there to support my community in any way that I can, and for as long as they vote me in, I plan on being mayor for that long.
Well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you have any plan to increase the tourism in the area?
Well, that would be great, absolutely. Right now I'm focusing a lot on community development, trying to resolve our water issues. Tourism comes, I feel it'll come naturally when we're working with the RTO9. I think there's a lot, it's new, right? So they're still kind of working towards how we're going to implement this in our region. So I think as that develops more, I think it'll be clearer regionally how tourism will take effect. And then I'll have a broader understanding of where Casselman fits into that big picture. So tourism is wonderful, absolutely. One thing that I was trying to do for tourism is there's this Global Roots project in Alberta. So it was born out of COVID, when people felt completely disconnected. These artists came up with this brilliant idea of having people around the world paint murals.
Oh, that's really cool.
Just a tile, yeah. And then they send the picture of the tile, and then they put it on this big metal aluminum sheet, which is probably the size of this room. And then people from around the world could come and see it, and it brings the world together. And so I applied for it, and Casselman was chosen out of all the places. In Canada, we were chosen. Wow. And I was so excited, and to me that was going to bring in tourism, right? I mean, that was international. But unfortunately, it wasn't passed by council. And I'll do some more research, but I'm really hoping that we could have that opportunity again. And I think I'll find the information regarding engineering, and once we get like a stronger number of how much it'll cost to install, I think that will definitely help with tourism.
Yeah, that'd be great. Are there any upcoming events in your region?
Right now we're in the middle of an event. The CRCVC have put out mannequins all throughout Casselman. So a local artist painted these mannequins and they're kind of hidden in and around Casselman.
Oh.
So that's a really interesting event. It's similar to the cows that St. Albert has.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're looking for something to do, come on to Casselman and find all our mannequins, and each one has a sign and explains the artist and their vision and what the mannequin means. Mm-hmm.
Are there any events or programs for the youth in your area?
That is one that I'm working on right now. With the Community Engagement Committee, I'm hoping to have a lot more youth engagement because they're our future leaders, and it's really important for me that our future leaders learn how their voices work in politics. So I'm creating a program where I want to work with local teens so that they could come in my office and work with me, see what I'm doing, help with council meetings. I want to teach them how to do delegations, how to get involved in politics, because a lot of times people, they underestimate the power of coming to council meetings. Council meetings are so important to come to because unfortunately with the way that sometimes politicians lead from the top down, people feel that there's no voice and there's no room for them to advocate for their needs. Mm-hmm. But the way that I'm approaching politics is I'm really listening to the voice, and it truly is shaping my policies and the steps I'm taking in Casselman. So I'm hoping to have youth come in and see how delegations work and how that bridges to council to propose motions on the table and push those ideas forward so that they understand that their voices are powerful and to use them. I really want to engage youth in that way. We did have a youth, the father emailed me on a Sunday and said, my son wants a skate park in Casselman. So I said, okay, meet me in my office. It's Sunday afternoon. I open town hall just for him and his dad. And we sit down. I'm like, tell me your idea. This is brilliant. And so I taught him, he was in grade 8, how to do a delegation, how to submit it online. And he did it. And then he came and he did a 10-minute PowerPoint presentation on having a skate park and where it could happen and how it would benefit our community. And that was the most, I almost cried because it inspired me as a mayor to feel that I'm in a position where I could empower youth to make changes in their community. It's just, it's so humbling and it's a deep honor for me.
Yeah, it's really great. And are you planning on building any infrastructures to accommodate the growing population of Casselman? Well,
our water obviously is a big key piece of our infrastructure puzzle. Right now, we've just received confirmation from the Ministry of Infrastructure, Minister Sturma. We're going to be meeting with her at the AMO conference in August in Ottawa. So we'll be speaking to her again, requesting funding and support for the connection from Casselman to Clarence-Rockland for our water. Then there's also the piece of the water itself. So there's enough water in Casselman to sustain the growth in the population of Casselman. We could grow up to 9,000. Currently we're at 4,000, but Casselman's projected to go up to 9,000 people. There's enough water to do that. It's just in the summer when with climate change, or I heard it, a scientist refer to it as climate weirding, because it's unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen every summer. So when it's really hot and the water temperature, the water levels decrease, there's no flow, and that's the problem. So with less water, the manganese doesn't disappear. It can't be evaporated. Manganese is a naturally occurring substance in our water because it used to be an ocean before. I mean, in Casselman, we had, dolphins and whales swimming over our heads. So now we're left with the manganese in the soil. So with that, it's important to protect our water source. With my work on the South Nation Board, I'm also on the Water Advisory Committee there. And something I'm really hoping to push for is the protection of that water source, not just in Casselman, but all along the river. It's not right to just not advocate and fight for the sustainability of this river. So, I mean, if we could stay with that water source. I mean, obviously that would be ideal, but it will require a lot of work to protect the water source.
And you mentioned a little bit the climate change there. And with global warming, there's been an increasing amount of forest fires. Do you guys have a plan in case a forest fire does happen?
Well, it's a plan with the South Nation. They have plans for all the forests, like in La Rose. We don't have any forests necessarily in Casselman, but if there was a fire, we do have our emergency management team, and they have a very clear emergency management protocol. So yes, absolutely.
And overall, what would you say your plan for Casselman is?
Community engagement. I want people to feel empowered. I want people to feel a very strong sense of belonging in their community, and kind of give Casselman to them. You know, they are Casselman, and I want people to feel that they are in control of where they live and what they could receive in their community, and to provide them with the services to fulfill those needs.
Well, that concludes today's interview. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more local news.